Okay, we are back with Vincent from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we are talking about what is the today relationship. This is part 2. Vincent, how are you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Great. So before we were just talking about what is the today relationship, part 1, and I know you was going to carry on from here. Please finish what you were saying.
Yeah, I just wanted to backtrack. I know we started off and I had mentioned that there wasn't hope or didn't look like things would get better based on the examples that we have, as far as what a relationship feels and looks like. But let me just go back. I'm gonna just make a small correction to that. I do believe there's hope. I would be remiss if I didn't say, that, because I'm a very, I consider myself to be a very positive and optimistic person. I believe there's hope, and I believe that hope starts with us, because we are in control of what we do. And if we, for the younger generation and our kids in particular to follow, then, we can, start to see change. So I just wanted to, make a correction with that.
Okay. That's cool. So, well, let me ask you this. If a woman is approaching you, trying to talk to you and give you her number and so on, do you feel some type of way about that?
No, I actually think it's, and I know a lot of women are, they have a particular way of what they call shooting your shot or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like most women that I've ever known, they tend to take the guy is supposed to approach to that, which is fine. I mean, they might have been raised that way to not be that aggressive, but I actually think it's a turn on for a woman to go after what she wants, and that it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a guy. It could be a career, it could be anything, in this life that she would want, a new home. I think it's important to go after the things that you want. And if
yeah,
that's a guy's
I agree.
Phone number, then
I
you should,
agree.
Go for it. Yeah.
So, would you agree for a woman to propose to a man? Do you think that's okay?
I'm on the fence on that one. I kind of see it both ways. I don't have necessarily a problem with it because, again, if a woman wants a man, wants that particular thing that bad, and she's not afraid to do that, then why not? However, traditionally, I think that the man should take the lead on that. Though, as a man, I probably would want to be the one to propose and not have my woman do it, to me. Okay. But again, I'm not opposed either, though. So.
Okay. So, if a lady asks you a serious question during your dating season, and you feel like it's too early or too personal, would you tell her, or would you just say, I'm not going to respond to that?
I would. Yeah, there's a way to do it. I probably would say something like, "We'll get to that," or "I'll tell you about that in due time." There's a way to say it to where.
Yeah, and the reason why I brought it up because that was one of the emails that I got. Some guys kind of feel like they're too boxed in, or call them a mama's boy, and feel like certain topic kind of really like hits the home, and that's none of your business right now. We're just dating or getting to know one another, but you feel like, hey, we'll get to that later on or whatever. So you're not offended by it, so that doesn't piss you off.
No, not at all. I think a lot of times we men, and women, sometimes there's a natural reaction to get defensive, when you're asked certain things. But I think we have to be careful with that, because questions doesn't necessarily mean a person's prying. It just means that they're interested. So you have to look at it from an interest perspective, and interest is good. You want somebody to be interested in you. So questions come with interest. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. Well, since you had experience with, women in the past, obviously you do have children. What would be your advice to a woman that is seeking a husband that would like to get married? How should she go about, sometimes women just kind of want to hear a man's perspective on things. Some people feel like dating online is just like unacceptable, and some people feel like it's great. But what would be your advice to a woman that's seeking a relationship?
Yeah, my advice to a woman would be, number one, do not, and I repeat, do not ignore the red flags, and a lot of times you see women, they're so, I don't know, I hate to use the word desperate, but that's kind of what it is a lot of times, they're so desperate for companionship, or for a husband, that they settle, they see these guys come to the table with these red flags, and these women are just making excuses. Okay, well, I can maybe deal with that, or yeah, maybe that's not so bad. But I'm here to tell you that you deserve better, and as a woman, you should only entertain the best. And you know what I'm saying. And anything else, should not be given that kind of consideration. The number two thing I would also say is, be patient, and I know sometimes people say, oh, well, I get lonely, I'm single, but just be patient, because rushing into something just for the sake of having someone, again, is gonna lead to nowhere. And that would be it. Pray, that would be the third thing would be to pray. God will definitely send you someone, might not be right away, but if you continue to pray and ask for that, he will answer that prayer, and
yeah, I agree.
It'll be, you know what I'm saying? And it'll be somebody that he has already designed for you, and you just go from there.
Well, it's really good to just hear it from a man, pretty much giving advice to a woman. Because sometimes, women, we're a little hard-headed, and we're like, well, I don't want to listen to you. You're a man. So we kind of feel like we know it all. So same thing with a man. What would be your advice to a man?
It's kind of really the same thing, just the opposite, because guys, we are guilty of the same, of, entertaining women that necessarily, wifey material, as they say. We're also guilty of, and we're men, so, we think sometimes with our lower half, and so sometimes we get, we can confuse lust with love, and I think as men we have to, fight those temptations and get back to loving instead of lusting. That would be my advice. And then also, again, the third one would be to pray, like a woman has to pray for her husband, as a man you need to pray that God sends you, your helpmate. So.
Right. So, now, are you opposed to online dating?
No, not at all. Because I've made the point. Isn't that all we have now? Because you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause you're not meeting people online. Like, literally, where are you going to meet people at?
That is true. And it's so dangerous nowadays. So.
Right.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, what about long distance dating?
I'm not opposed. I think it just depends on the two people involved. If there's, obviously if there's trust, because you have to have, a lot of that. But if trust is there and you feel that it's something that's worth putting the time, I think that something long distance could definitely work. Okay.
So you pretty much seem like you have like this experience, and you had some not so good relationships, and now you know exactly what you want. Sometimes it takes us to go through, a whole pile full of whatever mess to get to the good part. So it seems like you're on your way there, right? Am I right?
Yeah. I feel that way.
Okay, that's good. All right, so do you have anything you want to add, say, maybe an email address for women that's pretty much interested in you, or you want to say, hey, I'll find you?
No, I mean, for women that would be interested in me, they can find me on Facebook, Vince So Solid Darby. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, repeat it. What's your Facebook?
Oh, it's Vince So Solid Darby. DARBY.
Okay, so that's gonna change like next week, right?
Yeah, well, you know me, I switch it up, and then I also have an Instagram too. It's Mr. 696969. So
3 of them, Mr. 696969. Okay,
right.
I think that would be more easier for everyone. But on Facebook, it is Vince So Solid Darby, DARBY.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, and here's the last thing, because your Facebook page is like going bananas. Tell us about your Facebook page. Obviously, your voice in your Facebook page just doesn't match. So tell us who this person is on Facebook.
Right. Well, Facebook, first of all, I always tell people, that's kind of like my alter ego. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's my, I can get a little, that guy, he has no, he has boundaries, but, he can get a little wild, you know what I'm saying? But that's just my way that's just a way to express myself. And, I find it therapeutic in some ways. And some of the people who partake, they also find it therapeutic. So I feel like it's a win-win.
Great. Well, Vince, thank you so much for joining this podcast. And definitely, I think, first off, I learned a lot about you that I didn't even know. And I'm pretty sure others will learn a lot about you as well. And again, if you want to talk to him or get some advice, he is on Facebook, Mr. Vince, or not Mr., but Vince So Solid Darby, and on Instagram, Mr. 696969. I cannot believe I'm saying that.
Yeah, you sound good saying that though. I like hearing all the 69 coming out of your mouth.
I don't like 69. So, well, thank you again so much. And as always, I'm sure I will talk to you soon, because, I think these women are going to want some other, questions answered that they probably just, might be too shy to talk about.
Yeah, well, feel free. I enjoyed the opportunity. Thanks for the invite, and I'm always here to enlighten. So, utilize me however and whenever.
Great. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
All right, ma'am.